Today, your girl's gonna be telling you all the details about my bachelorette trip in Cabo. It was a major success. What up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about how we planned it, how we budgeted for it, how I delegated tasks to people, and how it all came together from start to finish. So hopefully you guys can use this as a resource if you guys are planning a bachelorette trip, or it's your bachelorette trip, or you're planning a girls trip. Hopefully this video is extremely helpful. But enough of that, like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. So we're gonna take it back to the beginning of when Cabo even became an idea for my bachelorette trip. One of the first trips that me and Anthony went on as adults overseas was to Cabo, and we had the most beautiful trip in Cabo, and I was just like, I love Cabo, I want to go back, I want to take everyone here. And in fact, we wanted to get married in Cabo. Then the pandemic happened, and obviously that just didn't seem like the best idea for us. So I was like, what is the next best thing? Obviously my bachelorette trip in Cabo, duh. Is that over the top? Yes. Do people talk crap about, oh my God, there's a bachelor trip this far away? Yes, but you know what? I didn't care. What I did know is that I was gonna be in Cabo for my bachelorette trip by myself or with somebody regardless. I knew I needed my bachelorette trip in Cabo if I wasn't gonna have my wedding there. So that's how I came up with Cabo as like my destination for where we wanted to go and have the bachelorette trip. When I asked my maid of honor, I asked her back in actually like early 2020. I had already been speaking to her like Cabo. My friends had been hearing me for years say Cabo for my bachelorette, Cabo for my bachelorette trip. So me announcing that it was in Cabo to my friends was not new information to them. They knew this was coming. Now, did I tell them about budgeting or a time frame or anything like that? No, not this time. I was just speaking shit into existence because I was like, you either gonna be there or not, but I'm gonna be there. So yes, I was selfish with this whole thing, and I knew exactly what I wanted. Luckily, my friend Jocelyn, my girl, my ride or die, was like, I will take on the trip and I will plan it for you. That's what I would love to gift you as your maid of honor. We went on the trip January 6th through the 9th. That was the date of our trip. We locked that date in June 2021, sending out invites to our guests around July, early July is when we send out the invite. I actually will paste the invite in right here. So I texted my friends this beautiful invite. I was like, woo, Cabo, like had music. I made it in Canva. I was super proud of it. I was so excited. And I had a list of 16 people that I wanted to somehow make it to Cabo with me. I knew it was a stretch goal. Honestly, didn't think any of my friends were gonna come. I thought I'd probably get maybe 5 to 6 people. I just kind of threw the invite out there and saw what happened. Everyone hit me with the best energy. Everyone was so excited, but I was like, okay, yes, I get the excitement, but once we let them know how much the trip may cost, I feel like a lot of people are gonna drop. I was completely fine with it. Like, I was okay. I just knew I needed to make it to Mexico somehow or another. And whoever was coming with me, I would have been fine with. Got the response, went ahead and got all the contact information of all my friends, their emails and their cell phone numbers, and gave that to my maid of honor so that she could start reaching out about logistics. Something we knew going into the trip is that I'm not gonna expect my friends just to cough up this money a month before and get into Cabo. We have to give them at least 6 months in advance to save and plan for this trip. I didn't want anyone to feel like they were in this tight, funky situation, and I really made sure that that message was relayed to all of my friends as they were going through planning. Once we went ahead and figured out how much an Airbnb would be to host 16 people, I knew that I wanted to get on a boat, so I told Jocelyn that, my maid of honor. We started looking at a budget. So when it came to delegating, my maid of honor asked me, do you have any friends out of the people you invited that would be really good planners that can help me with tasks over the next 6 months as we're planning up to this Cabo trip? So I gave her some contact information of 3 friends that I thought would be great help to her, and they had a call together, and I think they talked through ideas for the bachelorette trip, all of that. I was not a part of that call, but they took time to basically put a budget together so that people could start saving and, you know, budget over time so that they could afford to go on the trip. And then they also started putting an itinerary together. Once they figured out what the budget was, we came up with, for the Airbnb, for the boat, and for some of the transportation, $750 needed to be saved for each person and paid to Jocelyn so that she could book the Airbnb, the boat, the reservations for the, like, dinners and things like that. She could get that all done with that money. And so Jocelyn was amazing. I like applaud my maid of honor so much. She came up with payment plans. So if you couldn't just pay the $750 up front in July, you could do a payment plan over the next 6 months leading up into Cabo that would pay for those costs that she needed. So that was really up to each person. Once they started paying that money, we took a count and there was only one person that couldn't make it on the trip. So now our number became 15 people. And I remember Jocelyn saying, there's 15 people that are coming, they're paying their payment plans or they've already paid. I was in shock, y'all. I really was like, damn, my people are really showing out for me. They want to go all the way to Mexico for me. I didn't expect this. Oh my God. I've invited all walks of life, people from different parts of my life. Are they all gonna mesh together? I think the anxiety of it started to set in because I was so excited but so nervous. I'm bringing all these people from all different parts of my life. Is this going to work? Is this trip just gonna turn into this hot mess, or is it gonna be like the best thing that's ever happened to me? And I just remember feeling anxiety over the next like 6 months. But again, my friends that were on top of it, it was basically a team of 4 people: Jocelyn, Courtney, Abby, and Casey. They really got into like booking the Airbnb. They started looking for decorations on Amazon. They started looking for our goodie bags, making them off of Etsy. They really started thinking about like the logistics of the trip and started ordering things far in advance so that we would have all of those things the day the trip came. And then another thing that we really utilized while planning is Google Forms. We would get Google Forms. I think we got maybe 3 Google Forms over the course of 6 months that would talk about what kind of activities as a group are we interested in? Do we want to be on a boat? Do we want massages? Are we down to do yoga one morning? And so that way they could gauge kind of where everyone's interests were for the trip, so that we were planning a well-curated trip for the entire group. A month and a half to 2 months before the trip, we sent out our itinerary, which I'm gonna put in here, which basically went on to every single guest so they knew what we were doing every single day, and also what clothes they needed to pack, because we did have some themes that were incorporated, like last night on the prowl, right? We wanted that to be animal print theme. We had the all white party at Flora Farm, so they needed to bring an all white outfit. Mango Deck was like neon prints and things like that, because that was like a beach club. So we put that in there and we let people know farther enough in advance so that they could get the things that they needed for the trip. I think the biggest thing is that my maid of honor was extremely organized when it came to the Excels, the Google Forms, the itinerary. There was no message that was lost. She was super communicative to everyone. She was there to answer any questions. I am just so thankful that I had someone that's really type A personality and was able to get the job done. So that's kind of the breakdown of leading up to the trip, what happened as far as logistics and planning. The last thing I will say about that is that basically Jocelyn, my maid of honor, ended up getting COVID right before our trip. So Jocelyn actually never made it to the trip. She planned the entire thing and did not get to enjoy 1 second of it, and that broke my heart. But because she involved my other friends in the planning, Courtney, my friend Courtney, was able to go a day early before all of us arrived in Cabo. So that way she could decorate the house for us, she could stock it with alcohol, all of that. Thank you, Courtney, for taking one for the team if you're watching this. Again, I'm very impressed with my friends. I'm very grateful for them. They really went all out for this trip, and I will forever be grateful to them for it. I can honestly say from the moment I stepped into that house, I like just felt like the energy was just gonna be amazing. My friends brought their freaking A game. For this next portion of this video, we gonna walk through what the freak did we do while we were in Cabo and how amazing this trip freaking was. And I will make sure that I'm putting all of the vendors down below in the description box. So if you're heading to Cabo, you can use all of the services and people that we hired for our trip. I'll make sure that the Airbnb and everything is linked down there for you guys, because I'm telling you, we did this trip right. So once we got there, we picked our rooms. Everyone was excited. We like immediately took a shot. This was our cash night, and something I would really recommend for the first night of any trip is to do games or icebreakers. I think this truly drove our trip home, was that first night when we all got there. So we started with some games downstairs. We had a chef come in and cook us dinner, which I will definitely be linking right here. They were fantastic. They were bartending for us, serving us drinks, appetizers, dinner, dessert, you name it, and their energy was amazing. I mean, they were like dancing with us, having the time of their life. So that just set the energy in the room just so right. Good meal, good food, good music, good people. It was just so lit, and I feel like all of my anxiety went away that first night, because I was like, damn, if we're just in a house entertaining ourselves, this rest of the week is gonna go by so well because we have so many things that we're gonna do together. The games that we played and really got us to like loosen up and have fun was Shark Tank. So essentially, we did 2 versions of Shark Tank. The first is you have to sell me an alcohol. So each person had a tequila bottle and they had to come and present the tequila bottle for me, create an experience for me to try the tequila, and then I had to pick whose tequila I would want to endorse. We also did a talent show, so I assigned each group a song and they had to come out and perform. That's when you saw us doing Irish dancing and all that fun stuff. Day 2 was definitely more of an eventful, jam-packed day. I would say it was our heaviest day was Friday in Cabo. We woke up early in the morning, we had people making breakfast, and then we got massages. That was just to die for. And then we had a boat around 2 o'clock. We were really chilling in the morning. We ate breakfast together. People talked about last night. There's already inside jokes forming. As far as transportation to and from, because we were such a large group, we used Sprinter vans. Hands down, best transportation in Cabo. I will use them over and over and over again. I will never not be in Cabo without using that service. Their drivers are super professional. They have ice in there for you so you can have drinks, the best sound system so you can blast music. The yacht was amazing. We had the whole yacht to ourselves. They served us sushi. They had great music. They took us into the cove. It was absolutely stunning. And we stayed out into the water till sunset. After the boat, we were able to come back to the house and freshen up because we were gonna have our first night out, which was last night on the prowl because I'm getting married. So everyone wore animal print. We pre-gamed at the house and we went to a club called Taboo. Highly, highly recommend. It's very, very much jungle-esque. It's right on the beach in a resort, so it's super, super safe. It's bougie. There's people from all over the world partying there. So we did bottle service there. We had hookah there. It was really such a good time. So that was Friday night. Saturday was also another big jam-packed day. I could say that the squad was a little bit hurting in the morning. We're feeling definitely hungover. We headed over to Mango Deck. Now Mango Deck is like a beach club. It's like they play games. There's push-up contests. There's twerk contests. People come around, pour shots in your mouth. They do blowjob shots. It's like a scene. It's a raunchy scene and it's right on the beach. Super touristy. We ate brunch there and we partied there for a little bit, enjoyed the ocean, and then headed back to our Airbnb again to freshen up for our last night together, which we did at Flora Farms. Flora Farms was splendid. Let me tell you that. We did an all white theme, so everyone dressed in white. We arrived at dinner. We had one of the best meals I think we had in Cabo. The food was freaking amazing. It's on this beautiful property. There's shopping, there's little ice cream shops. I mean, the whole thing is a vibe. That was more of like an emotional dinner, I would say, because I really saw all of my friends jamming. Like I looked around and people were just loving on each other and they had just met. No one really wanted to leave. We were all so tired from the trip, but we just were like, damn, we're gonna miss each other. So the last night we just came back. We actually stayed in and just played games and danced and chilled at the house. And then on Sunday we woke up and we cleaned up and we headed out. Overall, it was one of the best trips I think I've been on. I think the energy was just immaculate, and I honestly don't know if I'll ever have another trip like that in my life with like my people, you know? I would say my standards for bachelorette trips are way, way up here. So if you invite me to yours, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this ain't La Mondo. All right, y'all, so let's talk about the questions that I've received from Instagram about the bachelorette trip. First one is from one of my friends on there. She said, when are we going back? Girl, I'm ready. Put me on a plane, let's go. We're moving to Cabo. I will own a house in Cabo one day. Quote me on that. Someone asked, best way to prepare for Cabo in COVID times. But you should get tested before you go just to make sure you're not passing or spreading COVID-19 while you're on the trip. All of my friends, we got tested before we left for the trip. As you guys know, my maid of honor didn't make it because she tested positive. That was super, super unfortunate to hear. I feel horrible about that, but I'm glad that we were safe than sorry because she was responsible and decided, hey, I'm testing positive, I can't make it. So going into Cabo, they actually don't require you to show any proof of a COVID-19 test. Cabo is completely open for travelers at this time. Coming back though, you will need a COVID-19 test. If you're renting an Airbnb, most Airbnb properties will have some type of third-party healthcare provider that you can go through to get a COVID test done at your Airbnb. And if you're going to a resort, same thing. A lot of the resorts are testing on site at the resort. Just make sure that you're checking with whoever you're traveling to, whether that's an Airbnb or a resort, that you ask about COVID-19 testing, but most likely they're both gonna offer that. That way you can get tested a day before, get your results, and get on a flight back to America. Okay, good question. Next question was, what was your favorite restaurant? I actually have two. I would say Flora Farms was fantastic for a large group. It's absolutely beautiful. It's inland, so you're not gonna be on the beach, so just know that if you go there, but the food is fabulous. The second place I would say in Cabo that's amazing is Sunset Mona Lisa. Me and Anthony went there when we went back in 2018. It's one of the best restaurants with the best view, with the best vibes. We did the 5-course meal. It was fabulous. Highly suggest, and if you can't do dinner at Sunset Mona Lisa, I highly suggest getting a drink. It looks like Mykonos in Cabo, and it's right on the cliff, right on the coast. It's beautiful. Someone asked, what was your favorite excursion? By far, the yacht that we freaking booked. It was awesome. I mean, the yacht was massive. We had downstairs, upstairs, the front of the boat, and it was all to ourselves. So if you're going in a large group, highly suggest getting a private boat to charter you out into the cove in the marina of Cabo, because it's just absolutely stunning, and do it during sunset time. The sunset views are literally breathtaking. Like you can't beat that. But before, when I went with Anthony, we went to Los Tamarindos. Now, Los Tamarindos is a farm to table where you go and you take a cooking class. You pick all the vegetables and you do a cooking class, the private cooking class, in this beautiful farm in Mexico, and then they serve you the food that you made and you get to eat it privately. That was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in Cabo. If you're going on like a couples trip or with a few people, doing a cooking class and eating the food that you made and that fresh guacamole and that fresh salsa, there's just nothing like it. It's so freaking good. So highly suggest. I love how you invited guys. What made you come to that decision? Are they bridesmen? Yes, so I have 2 bridesmen in my wedding party. I have my friend Lemuel, who's from college, and then I have my brother, Nathan, who's my bridesman. Now, my other brother, John, was also there just because I wanted John to be there. I invited all of my siblings to come. I don't think that bachelorette trips ever need to be all girls. I think it should be a representation of the people that love you the most, care for you the most, have been there for your relationship. And so yeah, that happened to be some guys, which I freaking loved. It kind of made us feel, honestly, a little bit more safe in a foreign country having my brothers there. All right, next one is, do you love my culture's hospitality? Yes, Cabo has some of the best hospitality. I can say that they definitely know that they're catering to Americans. Expect to get a drink served to you as soon as you arrive. Right when you land in the Cabo San Lucas airport, you are going to be greeted by 3 bars, rowdy people just ready to freaking party in Mexico. So yes, the hospitality is absolutely amazing. The massages coming to the house, the chef coming into the house, the drivers, everyone wonderful. No bad experiences at all. How much did you make the party budget? Like I said before, $750 was what needed to be paid to my maid of honor to book the house, the transportation, and the Airbnb. They had to buy their flights on their own. So depending on what time of the year you bought your flight, that depended on what your prices were gonna be. I believe mine was $600 round trip, $750 plus $600. And then I pulled out like $500 for the trip. Most people only spent maybe $200 there, $200 to $250 actually in Cabo for like tipping people, buying a few shots if you wanted. Honestly, my people spent a lot of money to be there, $1,400 to $1,500 altogether for the entire trip. It was definitely a more expensive trip, which is why we decided to have payment plans and plan so early ahead, because I really wanted to make sure that if people wanted to come, they would be able to do it. Someone asked, did you set up your own decorations? Did you pack them in luggage to decorate? So my friend Courtney went early a day before we got there, and she packed everything into her suitcases as far as all the decorations that we had, the goodie bags, the emergency kits that we made inside of the goodie bags, all of that was packed and brought. There was no decorations in the house when we got there. It was just an Airbnb. So yeah, my friends are amazing and made the decorations and all of that happen for me, which I truly appreciate. Someone asked, what Polaroid camera did you use to take these cute pics? So I will go ahead and link my Polaroid camera down below. I absolutely love it. We probably took over 100 Polaroids on the trip. I'm just so happy to have the Polaroids because I truly do feel like I'm gonna look at those and just like everything's gonna come back to life. And the thing about Polaroids is when you take them, they're not supposed to be perfect. They're supposed to be a moment. Someone asked, I know you don't share Ant's life on here and I respect that. Thank you, queen. But I'm curious as to what his bachelor was like. Anthony's actually doing his in March. So yes, Anthony has not done his yet, but I'm sure when he does his, I'll be able to share a lot more about his whole situation. But you know, guys planning a trip, we pray for them. We hope it turns out as epic as mine. That's all I can wish for him, but he has not gone on his trip yet, so you'll have to stay tuned on that, sis. Also, I hope you had a very fun time and enjoyed yourself. You deserve it. Thanks, sis. That I did. The trip was lit tea. Overall, Cabo is hands down an awesome place for a bachelorette trip, group trip, couple trip, solo trip, anything. There's something there for everyone. So I hope this video helps all of you plan an epic trip there. Feel free to comment down below if you have any more questions. I'll definitely be responding in the chat. So that wraps up this video, y'all. My bachelorette trip is over and I'm kind of sad about it because I was really up here on cloud 9. But the wedding is next and I cannot freaking wait for it. Like and subscribe, baby, and I'll be back later. Peace.